You see the news headline right here. It doesn't get any more disappointing than this. From hometown hero to accused murderer. You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. In my humble opinion, one of the saddest things in this life is wasted talent and potential.
Receiver who wants it more. Go up and high point the ball.
This is Avantae Williams. Coming out of high school, he had a 95 overall scout grade on 24/7 Sports, and he was regarded as one of the best safeties in the nation. To go on top of that, he was a 4-star recruit that every big-time program wanted, and that interception you just saw him get, that was his first collegiate one, and a lot of people thought it was the first of many. Fast forward in time, only 4 years later, he would be charged with murder. Quite the fall from grace. He had a bright future and career ahead of him, but like some others out there, he couldn't get out of his own way. But why was that? There's many questions people have been asked about this guy even till this day. But however, it all circles back to the one. And I mean the one big question we're going to try to get to the bottom of in today's video. What really happened to Avantae Williams? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great day. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Real quick, I got to drop by to address this. On our recent video titled The Football Player Who Faked 10+ Scholarships, there's a lot of you in the comments saying, yo, Matt, didn't you already make this video? And here's a long answer short. Yes and no. I talked about that individual story, I believe, almost 4 years ago on the channel. However, since then, I guess you'd say narrating has gotten better, at least in my humble opinion, and I thought I could tell the story a little bit better, so I just wanted to remake it. Or I think a better word to describe it is I remastered it. Yeah, we'll go with that. But it's not like I just copied the video and uploaded. No. It's a whole new narration. Sorry for the confusion on that. I did want to address it. If you're sitting here going, Matt, I have no idea what you're talking about, it's not that big of a deal. That is enough jibber jabbering. Without further ado, let's get into this story. To get into Mr. Avantae Williams' story, we got to throw it all the way back to where things started. Avantae played his high school football for DeLand High School, which is located in the state of Florida. This is where he was an absolute stud. At one point in time, he was ranked as the second best safety in the entire country, according to some recruiting sites. By this point in time, I'm accustomed to using 24/7 Sports, and they had him listed as the 6th best safety in the nation. Still not too shabby. As you can see right here, 4-star recruit. Some other recruiting sites had him as a 5-star, but for sake of this video, we'll call him a 4-star, 95 overall. Here's what a high school scout had to say about him. I thought this was interesting, so I'm going to read it off word for word. Possesses a lean but muscular build with the frame to add some more weight once he gets within a college level strength and conditioning program. Tests as a very good athlete in combine settings with a high level straight line speed and short area explosion. Transfers that athleticism over to the field on Friday nights where he makes an impact in all 3 phases. Capable of playing multiple positions in the secondary at safety, corner, or nickel. Has shown some natural coverage skills with the ability to go man up on receivers and play with range as a deep safety. Has a knack for closing on passes quickly, also flashes physicality as a tackler and striker. Displays his playmaking ability, ball skill change of direction, and a solid long speed as a running back and return man. Will need to continue bulking up and adding strength and should see an upstate in his play once he fully focuses on defense at the next level. Projects as a multi-year Power 5 starter in the secondary with the upside of developing into an early round draft selection. I know that was a lengthy read, but I wanted you to hear it from somebody else so you understand 2 things. Number 1, the hype was real. And number 2, people are expecting a ton out of him. As far as it goes for his recruiting process, in 2018, he would originally commit to the Oregon Ducks. How about that? But in 2019, he would decommit, and in 2020, this is when he would officially commit and sign with Miami. Goes without being said, this was a huge pickup for Miami. Like I said, one of the best safeties in the nation. Most people, especially Miami fans, expected him to come in and make an immediate impact. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. It was actually the opposite. The first time he even made real headlines is when he got dismissed from the football team in the summer of 2021 due to a DV case. He did get arrested for this, and it was just a terrible look for not only him, but the Miami football program. I'm going to read this off word for word. According to the Miami-Dade Police Department incident report, the woman, Williams' ex-girlfriend, is 31 weeks pregnant, and Williams was aware of the pregnancy. They had been living together for 4 months. The woman, according to the report, said she and Williams were arguing about his involvement with another woman when Williams said, and I quote, "When I return from practice, you need to be gone." She was in her bedroom packing her things to leave when Williams returned from practice, the woman said. According to the report, Williams was angry that she was still in the residence, grabbed her by her hair and threw her onto the bed, grabbed her again and threw her to the ground, and then picked her up and threw her to the ground outside the residence. where she hit her head before contacting a neighbor and calling 911. The woman was taken to the hospital for evaluation. The report states she suffered multiple bruises to her arms and a minor bruise to her neck. Police said Williams was not interviewed by the detective and was represented by legal counsel. You're probably thinking, yeah, Avantae Williams, he's cooked and this is the beginning of the downfall, but it's not. He wound up getting out of that sticky situation due to his ex-girlfriend recanting some of her statements, which isn't anything out of the ordinary. It's fairly common with DV reports. What probably happened is, you don't gotta be a rocket scientist. A couple weeks went by and the woman's like, yeah, I still got love for him. I don't want to see him crash and burn. I don't want to ruin his career. So I'm just going to tell everyone, or tell who would it be? The judge, I guess, whoever she was talking to, her attorney. That stuff didn't happen and I over-exaggerated. I lied about it. Long story short, this case got closed and Williams, he was an innocent man for the time being. I do gotta give some credit to Miami because they didn't let him just completely get away with this. They made him sit 6 games to start the season before they reinstated him. Here's what the head coach at the time, Manny Diaz, had to say about all of this. Our goal is to make the best Avantae Williams that we possibly can. That's why we gave him the avenue back. There's some things we want him to be able to accomplish that we think will help him, and by helping him, that ultimately helps us as a football program. Diaz continued, the situation changed with the way the case was handled. Those decisions are certainly not made by one individual. There's a lot of communication with the administration at the university level, with the administration at the athletic departments level, and really, what became our focus is what we can best do for Avantae going forward. Here's what some people on a Reddit post had to say about Avantae Williams being reinstated to the team. I still don't buy the girlfriend saying she got her bruises and injuries from moving into an apartment. Feel like Miami is taking a risk here. I am so glad I read that off because I forgot to bring that up. That was a part of the girlfriend, or my apologies, ex-girlfriend changing her story. That's what she changed it to. Oh, well, these bruises I got, they weren't from Avantae, they were from, like this comment says, moving some furniture and stuff, which I'm not going to speak on. You can do as you please with that information. Here's another comment. It's sort of a strange moral gray area here. In the eyes of the law, he's done nothing wrong. In reality, it may not be the case. But if he's legally done nothing wrong, what grounds do the Hurricanes have for dismissing him? I'm sure the administration has much more visibility to the details of the case than we do, but I agree, this is certainly a risk. It's definitely a gray area and obviously a tough decision for his girlfriend. If she did pursue the charges, she would at the same time be trying to put behind bars someone who's supposed to help provide for their soon-to-be-born child. Hopefully, their relationship goes forward in a positive way. Let's all hope the kid takes his second chance seriously and how he stays out of trouble. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he didn't take it seriously. Whether or not you think he should have been reinstated, the bottom line is, he was. And that is where this interception I showed you in the intro, it comes into play. He picked off Jeff Sims, former Georgia Tech quarterback, and that was a great moment not only for him, but for the entire Miami team. The coaching staff, the players, they knew what Avantae Williams was going through, and they were happy to see him succeed, and I don't blame them. All in all, for that 2021 season, he appeared in 6 games because he missed the first 6, had 15 solo tackles, and 1 interception. He would return in 2022, and the great news is there's not a lot to say. Why do I say that's great? Because like my grandfather told me growing up, sometimes no news is good news, and that's the case for this subject. Like I was saying though, his sophomore year in 2022 in 11 games played, he only had 7 tackles, he just didn't play a lot, 0 interceptions. I think it's more than safe to say he wasn't happy with his playing time, so he decided to enter the transfer portal. This is when he would decide to commit and sign with Maryland. Things at Maryland went about the same way as it did Miami. Didn't play a lot, only appeared in 5 games, and had 2 solo tackles. Avantae wasn't too fond with how things were going at Maryland, so he decided to enter the transfer portal yet again. This time, though, he didn't get picked up, as a lot of teams weren't too interested in him. We didn't hear anything about him for quite a while. That was up until early May of 2025, which is not too long ago. Reports started coming out that he got arrested on a murder charge, which is insane. I'm going to read this off word for word. Former Miami and Maryland safety Avantae Williams was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of a man over the weekend in Florida. DeLand police said in a news release that Williams, 24, was arrested Monday and taken into custody without incident. According to the news release, officers from the DeLand Police Department and Volusia Sheriff's Office responding to a shooting Saturday morning at a bar in DeLand, Williams' hometown. Witnesses told investigators there was a fight between several men inside the bar. During the fight, one man pulled out a firearm and started shooting. That man was Avantae Williams. As to why he thought pulling out a gun would be a good idea, well, here's the thing. He probably wasn't thinking. That's just reality of it. Police said 32-year-old Kashad Harris of DeLand was shot and killed, and a bartender was also injured in the shooting. You see the news headline right here. It doesn't get any more disappointing than this. From hometown hero to accused murderer. You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. In my humble opinion, one of the saddest things in this life is wasted talent and potential. Your boy Matt was doing some digging and research, and Harris, the individual he shot, they had some history, and let's just say they weren't the bestest of friends. And it's not quite as simple as Avantae saw him and pulled out his gun. No. They approached one another first. They started arguing. Then out of nowhere, Avantae Williams, he pulled out a gun, and Harris started to run away. Yeah, not an attorney or anything, but he's probably cooked. And not even probably. Why'd I even say probably? No. He is cooked. If you don't know why, it's relatively simple. Him and his lawyer, they're trying to use the self-defense argument, but that gets thrown out of the window when you shoot a guy in the back. This female judge you're looking at right here is talking to Avantae Williams' lawyer and saying, yeah, pretty much what I told you, self-defense doesn't apply here because the victim had gunshot wounds to his back. If you think I'm lying, everyone in the comments, they agree with me. Yeah, he cooked. Shooting an unarmed person in the back after a fist fight is wild. Crazy, man. For nothing. Threw a perfect career away. And yeah, that's what happened. Everyone's saying the same thing. It's relatively simple. He threw his life away. That did happen earlier this month as to when I'm recording and making this video, and as where it stands right now, currently, he's still in jail. He's got to go through the whole legal process, awaiting trial, and all that nice stuff. You know, it's going to get dragged out for months and months and months, if not years. I'm not a judge or anything, so I'm not going to speak on it too much, but I will say this. It's not looking good. I don't think there's too much more to add to this. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts and all this down below. But